Okay, just making sure the mic is working. Sounds like it is. So time is about to be 8:30 here on a Monday night. According to my watch, computer's got a different time. iPhone says 8:30. So that's about the time it is wherever you're watching from. If you're not watching it, Monday night, November 4th at 8:30 p.m., you are watching a recording. It's live right now, so I'm gonna let people join up on this Facebook live chat. We'll try to answer questions, but a somewhat impactful forecast heading into Election Day. We're going to be talking about this cold front that will be moving through here early tomorrow morning, and then it shifts to looking at the tropics late in the week and into the weekend. So we will start going here on this Facebook Live. Is it? Are we? Is it pretty low? Okay. If I get more comments like that, I'll see if I can adjust the levels. But it looks decent on my end right now. Okay, so we'll get started here on what's going to be a very humid evening. We hit 90 today, and it was really windy. We had a wind gust up to 44 miles per hour at the Corpus Christi International Airport, which is a pretty healthy amount of wind. I had a planted pot on my backyard kind of stairwell blow over, and it broke the pottery that it was in. So windy enough to do that, where I'd had a sturdy potted plant and took it out. Gonna have to replace it. 90 was our high temperature today, which is very warm considering it's the 4th day of November. We were over 10 degrees above the seasonal average for the date. And I think even more impressively was the morning low. We barely got under 80 degrees, which is just, it's kind of silly for November. Average low is 60, and we're talking near 80 overnight. That's a middle of summer low temperature that we had this morning, and it's thanks to that south wind and the high humidity. Also of note, the precip deficit is growing pretty steadily day to day. We're now 2 inches behind. It was a really dry October, and so far a dry November. That front we are looking at is working through the hill country right now. Not yet to Austin, San Antonio, but it's close. You see 66 in DFW, and then farther north, you're looking at 50s and 40s. We have some visitors watching. I thought something was behind me. 50. So we're actually on it. People are saying the audio is low. Is there any way?
Because it sounds like you're on a gnat. I'm hearing gnats.
You know what? I didn't have the mic on.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Whoopsie daisies.
Okay, very good.
So I had to run back over to the weather center to get the microphone, and I left it right here. So sorry about that. So hopefully I can restart. It was just the almanac, but 90 degrees was the, another significant thing about that. The low temperature that we hit this morning is our average high temperature for the date. Just silly stuff for November. So the front again is moving through the Texas Hill Country, the Edwards Plateau, not yet to San Antonio, but it's definitely cooler toward Amarillo, 43 degrees. up there. And then the Texas coast, everyone's close to 80. There's the front, again, really close to San Antonio. There are some strong thunderstorms. Some of them have been severe warned north of San Antonio in that part of the state. And a lot of that is for large hail. There's also a bunch of rain falling north of San Antonio toward, it's between Fredericksburg and San Marcos is where the big rain is falling. There's a little flash flood warning up and posted there. But for us, the Coastal Bend, we're not looking at anything significant right now with respect to rainfall. The rain will start to trend up heading into tomorrow morning. So we're going to be looking at shower and thunderstorm activity as this front starts to get closer to us. And the front, we're talking cold fronts right now, and we're in South Texas. What I think is funny about these fronts that start coming in is, we say cold front, and the pushback is, well, it's not going to be cold, so how can you call it a cold front, right? So I get it. I understand that line of thinking. The way that I think of cold fronts is not the temperature per se, but the change in temperature that an air mass change brings. So, for example, we're looking at about a 13-degree difference between today's high and tomorrow's afternoon high temperature, which to me means this is a moderately strengthed, is that a phrase, moderately strengthed? We'll call it a moderate strength cold front. And it's not going to be cold. It will not be cold, but it will not be 90 degrees, hence the phrase cold front, right? If we start talking about all these arbitrary adjectives to define the change in air mass, like cool front, for example, who gets to be in charge of what is cool versus what is cold? Is it 65, 70, 60, 55, 50? What is cool and what is cold? How do you differentiate the two? And also, different parts of the world are going to describe different temperatures differently with how they feel. 50 up in Casper, Wyoming is a lot different than 50 in Corpus Christi, Texas. So, it's a cold front, and it's because it's changing from warm to cold. Its temperatures are going down with this change in air mass that'll come in tomorrow morning. So, that's the logic behind calling this a cold front, even though I know and understand it will not be cold. I get it. But scientifically, it is a cold front. So that's what we get tomorrow. The front comes into Corpus Christi around 6 o'clock in the morning, but out ahead of this cold front, there will be showers and storms that develop throughout the Coastal Bend. So we have gone ahead with a weather impact alert day for Election Day between 2 in the morning and 8 in the morning. That's not to say that that's the only time frame that there will be rain. There will be some outside of that, but that range of time, that 6 hours, will be the time where we see the most coverage on the rain. It'll be the most impactful in the Coastal Bend as the front comes in. So as you get ready for Election Day, let's say the only time you can vote is first thing in the morning when the polls open. You're getting there 6:30, making sure you're on time and ready to get in there once they open up. 7, 8 o'clock, those people, that time frame, that's when you'll want to have, the rain gear. Maybe shoes that you don't mind getting wet, an umbrella. Maybe when you get to the polling station, see if they've got an awning you can get under if there's going to be a long line or if a line is already forming. That's the time where I think, there's going to be shower and thunderstorm activity moving through. So through about 8 or 9 o'clock, that's when, we're looking for the most impactful rain to be moving in. The front, again, it'll start coming into that Highway 59 corridor 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So places like Freer, George West, up toward the Three Rivers area, northern B County, those locations will be the first to get in to the cold front. That's when your rain chance will be best. As the front works to the south and east, the rain chances will follow that progression, the best chance for rain. There will likely be a line of showers and storms accompanying the arrival of this front. We're not expecting anything to raise the flag with respect to flooding. I think it'll be like 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain for most. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a huge rain producer. Some locations could get up, an inch. Sometimes these outlier higher totals do happen. Then behind the front, north wind 15 to 25, gusting to 40. It will be, gusty wind similar to today. We had the gusty south winds, but tomorrow it'll be out of the north. And on those north winds, we will get drier air, so the humidity is going to be going down. And with that, we'll get afternoon clearing, so some sunshine to finish up the day. And again, after about 9 or 10, things are going to start getting a lot better. So most of the day is going to be just fine if you have, any plans to get out and vote. So the severe risk with respect to how strong these storms could get, the bigger risk by far is to our north and east. North Texas, East Texas, about down to San Antonio. I was in Schulenburg this past weekend, and they're in a slight risk for severe weather, which is a 2 on a 1 to 5 scale. For us in the Coastal Bend, that risk is a lot lower. It is not 0. You see the green shade that does include all of B, Live Oak, most of Refugio counties, parts of San Pat, parts of Jim Wells, and parts of northern Duval counties, and a little bit of Aransas County. All of those locations do have a low-end chance that if a storm can get strong to severe, there could be an isolated storm that drops 1-inch hail and or 60 mile per hour straight line wind. Those are the two variables we're looking at with respect to hazardous severe level storms. And we're again in the Coastal Bend on the lowest risk on that 1 to 5 scale, but it's possible. So something to keep an eye out if you are in one of those locations. Corpus Christi not in that risk, but still, a chance for a stronger storm is going to be there. This is how our in-house modeling handles the progression of this front. Should be on a line from around Hebronville through Mathis and then up to Goliad by about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And out in front of that cold front, there will be a few showers and storms that develop and move in from the south. So we'll see those try to increase overnight. And the bulk of the rain will be accompanying that leading edge of the front. As that colder air moves in, it's more dense than the warm air that's in place. It comes in, dislodges air in the vertical, and that's why you're seeing the leading edge of the front there with the shower and thunderstorm activity coming in just behind it. But it's that initial dislodging of the air in the vertical that gets that line of showers and storms going. So that's 5 o'clock in the morning. This is 6:30 coming through Corpus Christi. This is when I think the Corpus Christi metro area is going to have the best chance for showers and a few rumbles of thunder. This is going to be when, people are going to the polls, and I just caution against, being unprepared if you are going to be in a line that's outside. Rain gear, or maybe just sit in the car, until the shower or storm passes. I think we get this through the 8 o'clock hour. But once the front starts to move offshore and the drier air starts to filter in behind it, that's when the rain chances are going to be lowering. So by 10 o'clock or so, there could be a straggler shower out there, but I don't think we see anything of significance with respect to widespread coverage of rainfall once we're past about 9 or 10 o'clock. Also, look at the temperatures, a little dip into the 60s in the morning. Then we start to warm back up, but nowhere near 90 like it was today. We'll be in the middle to upper 70s with sunshine, lower humidity, and milder air. It's not going to be hot tomorrow. So we'll finish the day up on a much better note. And then this is one of the more exciting things about this forecast is that into Wednesday morning, there is a little chance that we get into the 50s for the first time this fall. This was the first fall that I've been here, and probably most of you, that we did not get into the 50s before November hit. The last time that happened was 1934. So it was 90 years ago that we had to wait for the 50s after summer until November for them to get here. And that is happening. It's already November. We haven't been into the 50s, but that may happen on Wednesday morning. So we'll see how that plays out. Wednesday afternoon looks awesome. This is going to be, I think, the first sunny delight of the year. Well, not year, the season. Highs near 80. There will be a little increase in humidity, but not enough to make it feel like it did outside today. Looks mainly sunny. Winds aren't going to be overly strong. You see there 11 gusting to 16, and then the highs close to 80. So that may be the first one of the season, a little sunny delight action heading into Wednesday. Rain chances now going back to election day for tomorrow. The rain looks best and most likely between 2 and 8 in the morning. In Corpus Christi, the best chance will be between about 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning. That's when Corpus Christi's rain chance will be the best. Trending down, done before noontime. Afternoon looks great tomorrow. Okay, completely different topic now. I think it's odd that we're talking about something like this on November 4th, but you can't let the calendar dictate what you talk about, and it's there. We've got a tropical storm. It's Rafael, and this storm is going to move toward the Gulf of Mexico. You see on the pinks there in western Cuba, they've got a hurricane watch posted, hurricane warnings posted for the Cayman Islands. And this storm, Rafael, is forecast to be a Cat 2 100-mile-an-hour hurricane moving into western Cuba, right, on Wednesday. So 2 days from today, a hurricane, Cat 2, on November 6th in Cuba. Then it goes into the Gulf, where it will maintain hurricane status through Friday, weakening to a tropical storm on Saturday. And the cone, you see how big that cone is? It takes up about, a lot of real estate in the central Gulf of Mexico, the central and northern part of the Gulf. There's a lot of area that this thing is covering. And, the cone, the way I see it, if you were to extend out that western edge, that would point it to South Texas. If you were to extend out the far eastern side of the cone, you would go into the Florida Panhandle. So there's a wide range of track possibilities for Rafael over the weekend and even into early next week. So yes, that looks scary, but we are in November. We are not in the middle of August or early September, and the environment is not going to be as supportive of a very strong system the more north it gets in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll just show what's going on here. This is the wind shear forecast for Saturday. So about the time where Rafael might be in the central or northern Gulf, you see all that blue. That means that there's a lot of wind shear, and as it starts interacting with this, it's harder for it to keep its strength, and even it's hard for it to stay organized. So there will be increasing wind shear the farther north Rafael gets in the Gulf. The sea surface temperatures in the nearshore Gulf waters, they're not as warm, as they were a couple months ago, near 90. They're in the low 80s and upper 70s, and in the middle of the Gulf, mid to low 80s. So you need 80 to support a tropical system. We've got that, but this is not the high octane, fuel that we'll see in the Gulf of Mexico in the peak of hurricane season. We're already seeing the decline in the sea surface temperatures. We've had a few fronts come through, so it's not as warm in the Gulf as it's been, and it can be. The spaghetti plot now, this is through Thursday, and what we're going to see happen with this is high pressure in the southwestern Gulf north of the Bahamas is going to help keep this system on that northwesterly track over western Cuba and into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. This is through Thursday afternoon. As we move forward in time, there's the front that we're going to get Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning. By Thursday afternoon, that front will be lifting more to the north, right? So it doesn't buffer the Gulf states because it'll be moving north. So when we move forward in time here on the spaghetti plot, you're going to see two different camps of idea start to show up. The consensus, meaning most of the modeling, is wanting to go into the northern Gulf somewhere between Louisiana and Florida. That's where most of the forecast modeling takes Rafael. But the European model and a couple of others want to move it to the west, and they want to keep it south, well south and way west. That's through Saturday afternoon. And that could be in part because of another cold front that may be coming through here into the weekend on Saturday. That would suppress a north movement if it went to the west, the way the European modeling is showing. So either way, I don't think we're looking at a strong system by the weekend. I think it'll be, a raggedy tropical storm, if that. But we'll talk about what these two scenarios mean for South Texas, right? That western movement and more to the south, that's going to mean better moisture here for sure, more of an onshore flavor of weather, and it'll mean better rain chances over the weekend. So that's that European modeling idea. A track that goes more north, right into the northern Gulf, that's going to mean that we're on the west side of that circulation, which will give us a more favorable pattern to get cold fronts in, with drier air also accompanying said cold fronts. So that north track, I think, is going to be a more favorable one for us to get a weekend cold front and for there to be a prolonged period of nice weather. If the track goes more to the west and south, that movement is going to keep us a lot more humid and less likely to get a cold front into the weekend, plus a little bit of a rain chance. So neither of these, I don't think, are going to be, again, strong storms. So we're looking at something weak with either of these tracks. That's the latest with Rafael. I can't believe it's November 4th and we're talking about a hurricane that's going to be in the Gulf this week, but it is what it is. On record, there's no hurricane, I'll say since 1850. I cannot find a record of a hurricane making landfall in Texas after October the 16th. And here we are. I'm not saying that will happen where we get one this time. I'm just saying it's not common to see stuff in the Gulf in November. So, you all right, Rudy?
I'm good.
Rudy's good. Okay, he's right over here. He's getting ready for the newscast. It's almost 9 o'clock. Jabbering on all night over here. So rain chances go up overnight. The cold front comes in around 6 in the morning, and that cold front will drop temperature some 10 degrees pretty quickly. So we'll be in the upper 70s most of the night, and then a drop into the mid 60s as that cold front comes in. And the wind will also shift to out of the north up to around 20 miles per hour. So Tuesday looks, there's that weather impact alert through 8 o'clock in the morning. Rain is done for the most part, sans maybe a lingering stray shower by 9 o'clock. We're done with the rain. Then we start to break out into sunshine into the afternoon. Mid to upper 70s, lower humidity. Wind will be about 10 to 20 in the afternoon, but it'll feel nice. It's just that first few hours of the day that, look dicey with respect to rainfall. On the water, an elevated rip current risk. Small craft need to use caution with that north wind picking up. The bays are looking choppy, if not rough. Water temps around 80 and 4 to 6 foot waves with an 8-second period on the near shore Gulf waters. So there's the 7-day. Wednesday, again, I think is going to be a sunny delight after, this cold front comes in Tuesday, early morning, and then mid 80s Thursday, Friday with partly to mostly cloudy skies. I do have this cold front coming in for the weekend. It doesn't look strong, and it may give us a little chance for rain as it passes through. But I have us on the drier side, which is kind of a tell that I think that the storm we're talking about is going to move on that northerly track toward the northern Gulf. So that's what I have reflected in our forecast here. But there's still a lot of uncertainty in the Saturday, Sunday, Monday outlook, and that's going to be contingent and will hinge on how Rafael moves in the Gulf later this week. So with that, we were on for 30 minutes. Sorry, I didn't have the mic on at first. Embarrassing. It's like the first time I've ever done that. But we'll keep you updated. For now, just know that this cold front comes in through the Corpus Christi metro area, probably during the 6 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. Good chance at showers and storms at that point. The rain chance then goes down by mid to late morning, 9 and later, and things look great after that. So I hope you're safe tomorrow. Hope you do get out and vote if you have not already. Just be mindful of that early morning time frame. And we're going to be here tomorrow with all of the local election results. So big day for the country tomorrow. Exercise your right to vote. Get out there and do it because it's important. And we'll see you after Monday Night Football.